morning.
Good morning. Happy Monday.
Yes, happy Monday.
Yes. I always love that countdown because we look so happy and so many memories and moments that we've had. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
The suspense. The suspense. I'll roll into it. Okay, I see.
Well, yeah, you can tell that it's Monday while we're all still
I'll roll into this, you guys. I'm good with that. So thank you guys for being here. It's great to connect on here. And I wanted to sort of begin this session. So today we're going to talk a little bit about what is happening in the real estate market. So there's a lot of different things that are going on out there. And I think that we can share certain perspectives on what it is that we're going through so that we can help our agents and help people that are out there navigating this market share. But before we go into all of that, I wanted to sort of chat a little bit about what we're going to be doing as a company probably the next quarter. Beginning with Wednesday, we're going to have a final class for our communication series. So those of you guys that are watching, or those of you that watch this afterward, make sure that you come over on Wednesday here at the Mountain office. We're going to bring in a taco cart, a lot of food, drinks, and we're just going to make this a time where we can connect and just talk with one another, just to end that communication series. So our presenter this week is going to be Sandra. I'm looking forward to that. Thank you, Sandra, for being the grand finale. No pressure, Sandra. And then the other thing that we have going on this week, which this class is very dear to my heart because my daughter, Brooke, is going to be giving this class on Thursday over at Legacy First Escrow. And let me see, I wrote down the time. It's 11 o'clock, self-accountability at the escrow company right here down the street, across the street actually from Sonia's office. So I hope that you guys attend that. Obviously she's my daughter and I'm very proud of her, but I love the things that she's bringing to the Champions organization, because she's going to talk about that self-accountability, which I think that, we're going to dive into that a little bit today. None of us can do any of the work for us. And so especially in this market, we have to show up for ourselves. And she's going to dive into what that looks like and really go into more detail about different tools and what we can do as entrepreneurs in order to show up for ourselves, and for everybody else in the right way. So that is Thursday, 11 o'clock. Please be there. The third thing, and I swear this whole session will not be about what's up and coming. The third thing is Knott's Berry Farm Day. So that is on August 19th at 12 o'clock. That is going to give us another chance to connect and have lunch and then go around, roam the park, go on all of the rides, have some fun, which I think is really important with what we do. We need to also take time to have fun, to connect, and to enjoy each other's company. We're all working very hard. So these are great times for us to come together as a community. August 19th, 12 o'clock, Knott's Berry Farm. I don't know whether or not this already happened, but I do know the first 25 people that RSVP, and their +1 will be getting in for free. So that's going to be paid on us. The first 25 to RSVP are going to get in, they'll get their ticket for free. Last thing before we dive into this market, you guys, last thing that I just wanted to put out there right now is I'm going to be launching an investment series. It starts October 4th. That will be via StreamYard. Mark your calendars. I'm going to go into a 6-week session on investing in real estate. Not only how you begin to invest, in other words, what I would recommend for somebody just starting out, but also for people that want to build their real estate portfolio. I'm going to also have my daughter helping me lead that session because, as you guys know, she sort of is dealing with the other side of financial planning, which is not, I'm doing the real estate investing side, and then she's going to dive into other methods of financial planning and where to actually place your money. So don't miss that. That I'm really excited about, October 4th. And the reason why I'm so excited about the investment series is because I push it a lot here at the office with the agents. I mean, even, with you guys, like I'm always talking about it. And the reason why is because I feel like there has to be a shift in the way that we think as not only as society, but as entrepreneurs, meaning you can have a job. Like I always say, you can have real estate commission income. You can own a real estate office, get escrow fee incomes. You can do flips, and real estate sales. But ultimately, for your financial stability and security, you never want to rely on an outside source to bring your revenue in, meaning you want to build that solid platform of residual income. And there is nothing more solid than real estate ownership. You can literally just make a decision to go home and call it a day once you have real estate in your portfolio that is generating income. Everything else becomes something that you want to do, not something that you need to do. And that changes the game. So I'm going to stop there with my real estate investing because I can take up the whole freaking hour talking about it. But those are the items that are coming up, within the company. And I just wanted to put that out there to start. And, let's talk about this, ladies. Like during all of this time of change, in my book, this is an opportunity to rise because right now is when we need to step up our game. And it's a choice on whether or not we're going to step our game up and rise, or whether we're going to make the other decision, which is not get proactive and not push our business forward. So some insight and thoughts on what do you think that is happening with the market? Let's start with you, Sonia. I chatted a bit with you over the weekend and I was in awe of the appointments that you had and what you had happening this weekend with buyers, new homes, and getting them into escrow. And so, let's start with that, if you don't mind, just elaborating on that a little bit on this market and what you experienced over the weekend.
I think that what the agents need to, you're going to have this is in our market or in real estate in general, it's not 100% consistent unless you build that consistency. And, for those of you that know me, I'm so big on building your business as a business, running it as a business, which unfortunately most agents, that's where they fail because they don't spend the time in their business. And it's for times like these that it shows, that you're doing that, that you're continuing to stay in contact with your clients. You're consistent on, whatever activities it is that you're doing to stay, relevant in front of your clients. And just like Jennifer said, you have to show up as a professional. And, anytime they think of real estate, you want them to think of you. You want them to remember you. You want to be easily accessible to them. So you want to make sure that you're constantly, in their emails, in their text messages, in their mail, on their social media, like you're showing up everywhere, not just in one place. And again, all of that takes time to build. And all of that takes time because, it's, again, remaining consistent and it takes effort. And if you can't do it yourself, then hire, a virtual assistant or hire an assistant or talk to another agent, team up. There's various ways of doing things. You don't have to do it alone. And I think that's the biggest thing in our business. And what I'm starting to see is most agents are, what's in it for me? What's in it for me? It's all about me. And that's the wrong attitude to have, because when you come in, chasing the dollar, looking for what's in it for you, unfortunately, everything around you is going to show, people are going to pick up on that. So I think it's important to know that. And reading that book that last week, I know not a lot of you weren't there, but, when you give and give and give and pour out, you get it back in different ways. And that just really resonated with me, because I started to realize that where I was looking for that, to get back from those that I poured into, I wasn't getting it. But it's so crazy because there were so many people around me trying to pour into me, and I wasn't acceptant of those because I didn't do anything for them. So why were they pouring into me? So again, it's important just to know, and surround yourself with people who are doing better than you. You always want to compare yourself to the best, not to the worst, to the best. And then see where you line up there. And in regards to like my weekend, like Jennifer mentioned, and it's still overwhelming. I'm just getting a lot of calls from past clients, from referrals. This weekend, a lot of it was on the spot too. It wasn't like, hey, can we have an appointment set for this weekend? It wasn't like that. It was, I don't know, maybe Friday, a buyer was pre-approved on Thursday and like, hey, let's go out on Saturday. And then another buyer, same thing. So I actually had 3 separate buyer appointments on Saturday, and they all have different scenarios. One's a cash buyer, one's conventional, 20% down, and one's FHA, needs help with closing costs, has $0 for closing costs. So they're all different. And then I happen to get a call while I'm out in the field, from a past client who says, I want to sell 2 of my properties to buy a property cash. Can you come today? I said, no, but I can go tomorrow. So it was that. And then in the morning, I got another call from another client. Hey, Sonia, I've seen this house. Can you take me to see it? And I probably need to sell my house. So can you do that? And so it was just like, but again, and I'm a huge iPad technology person for this reason. I was able to do everything on the fly. I was able to do everything, while I waited for my clients to show up to different appointments. I was making the best use of my time, because I wanted them to see that regardless of how busy I was still able to handle it and manage it. And I managed it all by myself. I didn't have, anyone doing any work for me or anything at all. It was everything that I did, with my time. And it's just using your time wisely and just showing up and doing the best that you can. And I think that the more you work, just making calls, talking to people, you just have to get out there. You have to be consistent. Our business is a relationship business. Make people want to be in your life, want to work with you over and over and over. And these clients that have called me this weekend are clients I've sold 3, 4, 5 houses to, or I've done, their friends and family. So that says a lot. It says a lot that obviously they love the way you work. They watch you, they follow you. And one of my buyers, it was a TikTok buyer. So, that works too. And, it was a nice thing to hear that, people are actually watching you. She said, I've been watching you for a while, but they'll reach out when they're ready or when you say something that resonates with them. So that's why it's important to be consistent, constantly show up because they are watching and they're waiting. You stop showing up, they think, oh, she got out of the business, or, oh, she's probably too busy, or she's not, it's not her passion, or whatever it is. So you just, whatever you're going to do it. And, like I said, the market is definitely competitive. And like I mentioned, I have one buyer who needs basically $22,000. Let's just say that, because he has to buy his rate down and he needs closing costs. So let me tell you about relationships. So I showed him 5 houses and even went to a new build. Now the new builds are giving you a 5.5% rate. Okay. They're giving you 5.5%. So that way you have a better payment. They're helping you with some of your closing costs, yada, yada. Well, I told him, you know what? Because he wasn't really fond of the new home, but he says, if I have to end up there because they're going to help me, then I guess I'll end up there because I don't want to not buy a home. So I told him, let's go look at the resale homes and let's go from there. So we went to see the resale homes. The first one that was his best choice happened to be an agent that I gave a one-on-one iPad training to in 2013. Okay, so that's how long ago it was. So she says, oh my God, Sonia, it's so great to hear from you. How have you been? How are things going? Blah, 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 all that stuff. I told her, look, I'm going to be very honest with you. My client needs $22,000. And this is the story. And I sold it to her. I said, look, he can go to the new build and they're going to buy his rate down, they're going to do this and that or whatever, but he's choosing to buy your home. So if your seller is open to paying my client's closing costs, I'll get it done for you. So she says, you know what, Sonia, I'm going to push to get it done for you. So this morning she emailed me and she says, it looks like we're going to have a deal. I'm working on it. So I'm going to tell you that, again, it goes back to relationships. Now, would any other agent do that? Probably not, because I called them and I talked to them. Hey, my client needs closing costs. Oh, yeah, I don't think so. Not in this market. I'm like, well, we'll see, because it's different. Every area is different. But I have to really say, honestly, that I feel it's because of that relationship that she's willing to go to bat for me and talk to her clients, about, hey, this is a great offer. She's going to get it closed. Let's get it done. So again, go out there, network, don't be afraid to network with other agents, and good agents. Look who are the agents that are listing properties. Like they say, it's 10%. So it's not like you have to talk to everybody, and make sure you're spending the time with the right agents that are going to, do these things for you. You're creating these relationships and these just conversations with other people who, would you do the same for them? Would you, step outside and help them because maybe their client is in need? So I mean, me, Jennifer, I'm a huge whatever it takes person, and I will do whatever it takes. I don't turn anyone down, because I know that, what's meant for you will be for you. And so I can't stress that enough. So I'm telling you guys, don't get discouraged. On last Monday, I even have it recorded. I did a live and I said, I feel it in my bones. I've been in this market or in this real estate for so long. I can feel it this week. It's gonna start getting crazy. And it sure as heck did. It really did. I have 2 listings coming up this week. I have multiple buyers. We're working on about 4 other listings. Like, it is really, really busy. And I'm excited because a lot of buyers are realizing that it's that rates are where they are. It is what it is. So what can I do to get into this house? What is it going to cost me? You're before, when people would call me, I ask them, what do you think more or less your payment's going to be, or what are you comfortable with? It used to be $2,000. Now it's, I guess, 4,000, right? 5,000. And that's kind of where everybody is, between 4,000 and 5,000. So, and investing is a huge thing too. I see a lot of people wanting to invest, still as well. So, I mean, there's definitely business for everybody. Find your niche, find what you love. Not everybody's a door knocker. Not everybody is a cold caller, an open house person, social media. Find what you love and do what you love, and don't stop. That's it.
Boy, you dropped a lot of nuggets there.
So now this is all, broker power hour is over. Thank you. Bye.
Okay, thank you, Sonia, for handling all of it. You dropped everything, and
Thank you for wrapping it up.
Have a good day, ladies. No, I mean, Elizabeth, I know that you have input to say on that, but I just want to say on one of the things that you mentioned, Sonia, like, you were talking about the class that you did last week, and it's so true. So a lot of the time we pour into different people, right? Like, we'll pour into them, whether it's a client or whoever it is. We are giving, and just pouring our love and our energy into trying to help and do. And then you end up not getting back what you feel that you might get back, which obviously the law of the universe works in the way where, when you're pouring into something and you're doing it for a beautiful cause, meaning not to receive anything back, you're going to get it back from other people and other sources. And it may not be those individuals or that particular client, but it's kind of like an energy thing. If we're giving out and we're doing good, and we're, like, providing value, we're going to be receiving it from other people, maybe not the ones that we think that we'll be getting it from. So that's another thing, our agents, they need to you guys have to keep giving and pouring out into others and also into yourself. Like, it is a time for self-development. It is really a time to evaluate our personal selves and how we're showing up for ourselves and other people. It's really important. It's always important, but it's really important right now.
Absolutely. And just like you said, because a lot of times we do pour so much into one client, we're doing everything that we can for this client, and we're thinking, gosh, why isn't nothing happening for them? Why aren't they as motivated as I am to get them into something? You see even like counters that you get, they're shutting stuff down, but then you get a call from a client who's a slam dunk. And that's what I'm talking about. Just working works, and just whether it's going to work out with this person or someone else. Like she said, the universe picks up on you working and really working. You can't fool it. You can't fool it. You can fool people on social media about what it really looks like, but you can't fool it. And so, and in yourself too, we know how we feel every morning. So if you don't feel the way you want to, then it's up to you to change that. It's up to you to show up and be the best you can be for your clients, because they recognize those things, or whoever you're talking to, they recognize and they know right away, just like a girl knows right away if she's going to go on a second date. Well, they know right away if they're really going to work with you. So I think it's important to show up and to offer value. And I think that's and the thing is, not everybody's meant to work with you either. So if it's not your client, it's just simply not your client. It's okay. It's not personal. Move on, learn, and go to the next. Don't get hung up on it, because now you're wasting, good energy.
I want to touch bases on don't get hung up on it. So for the real estate agents out there, please don't get hung up on your clients. If they're draining you, we learned fountain or drain. If they're draining you, draining where they're not just going anywhere. You have to understand that you technically have invested so much time, so much energy in these people, that you're losing out on possible opportunities all over the other place, because you have invested so much time into maybe that specific client. And what we don't want to do, we want to be able to balance our work lives and our clients. So just be mindful of your time consumption with certain clients. And like Sonia said, maybe it's not a win-win. And maybe it's best to maybe refer it to another agent that could be a win-win with them. But the one thing for sure is you don't want to lose on opportunity that is out there. So try to recognize it before you get sucked in, because then you're going to wonder, well, it took me 10 months to close on this one client. But then what ended up happening to all that opportunity that just went by the door? That means someone else got it. It's up to us to really balance our time and our energy, and making sure that it's a win-win. And if it's not, hey, as much as they're able to choose us, we can choose them too.
Very true. Very true. And part of that is, I think that you touched a little bit on that, as well as picking the right team and making sure that you're working with the right people. And that could be, your escrow people, your lender. So I believe that you were touching a little bit on that over the weekend, where when we're working with a lender and we're giving them, and I love this part because it's the truth. Any type of relationship, it has to be a give and take in order for it to work effectively. There has to be some gifts that are exchanged in order for that relationship to work. And so really take a look at things like, what is your lender providing you? And that hit home for me because last week I just had my banker, Scott, give me a call, and he was talking about different things that are happening within the economy. And for me, that's a lot of value that he reaches out and he lets me know what is happening, because these are things that we need to educate our clients about too. As you notice, they're settling in a little bit with these interest rates because they're realizing, and he said the same thing, notice, he does a lot of commercial, so he was talking more about commercial. But he said, notice how people are settling into the rates and they're settling into what is happening in our economy. So just work with the right people, especially right now. It's very important that you're selective in who it is that you're sharing your business and your gifts with, and that you're receiving some great information or tools, that it's reciprocal, because it has to be a reciprocal type of relationship, and that I think goes for any type of relationship that we have. I feel like it's also a time to refine our skills, but refine ourselves, meaning to remain professional and to reach out whenever there are file issues. I don't want to throw her name out there because she might not like that.
Can you just say the initials?
I don't want to throw our agent's name out there. I don't know that she would appreciate that. Actually, I think she's over in West Covina. But she, I wish that I could actually share the way that she handled this particular client and the other agent.
I know who it is.
She handled this with so much integrity that I ended up, I ended up calling her and telling her, I just want to say thank you for handling this situation with so much integrity, so much clarity, and so much professionalism. In this industry, a lot of the time, this does not occur. And she handled this in a way where it ended up really good for the company, because she literally presented everything in such a professional way toward the other agent and toward the client that there's literally no gaps in the way that she managed this. So I should have got with her before to see if it was okay if I actually, shared the case scenario, and I didn't get with her. But my point in all of this is to be professional and to not burn those bridges, because we can hold our boundaries and we can say, which she did, she held them very well. However, she was very polite about it and very professional about it. There's just, different ways to do things. And it's funny, Sonia, now that I'm looking at you, you had a situation very similar too, where you had, somebody that was trying to push that boundary, and you just responded with love and kindness and very professionally, to the point where I don't even think the other agent knew what to do with that. So those things in this market share, they matter, because it's those little things over the course of time that brings in repeat business, and it makes it so that somebody looks at you and they're like, you know what, I want to work with that agent, because regardless of what I know, they're going to do the right thing during a transaction. It may not be the thing that I enjoy and like, but I do know they're going to be honest and transparent. They're going to keep me updated. They're going to say what's real, and they're going to do what is right for the client. So those are the things that are really important in business. It's the little things that really matter a whole lot, at the end.
And it's such a small business that you don't know if you're going to run into them again. And so, or you don't know who they're talking to, or who they're going to, of course, just tell their version of what happened. And so then, now you're dealing with, it's such a small industry. It really, really is. And now you're dealing with this person who may, again, feel the same, or already have an opinion because of something that was told to them. So definitely always show up as a professional. That way it can't be wavered of, the type of person that you are.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And here is where our emotional intelligence in business comes into effect, you guys. I'm telling you, we should have labeled that class, the communication series, we should have labeled it how to get 20 listings in a month. And then obviously we'd have probably everybody and their mother there, right? But when you label something communication series or emotional intelligence in business, people automatically think, well, that's not going to get me any business. But the thing is that if you don't have that foundation, you're only going to get to a certain point, and it's going to crumble. It's not going to be built on a solid foundation. And right now in this market, the reality is that a lot of agents are not pushing forward in the market. I mean, we see the stats of what is going on, and you need to dig in and show up for yourselves in every single way possible, because we can offer all of these tools and we can offer all of these classes, and we all have access to things that are going to better ourselves and our business. But if we don't really do the work, like you were saying, the universe knows. It knows, when we go on a meal plan, we, like our body, we know we're going to suffer the result of not following it. And so does our business. The universe knows whether or not we're showing up. So only you know that. And if you're saying, well, I don't have success at converting clients, well, really take a look at what it is that you're doing every day. Are you making contacts? Are you networking? Are you following up with your clients? Are you putting yourselves out there? Like, what exactly is it that you're doing in order to keep that momentum and to keep that business going? It's very important with this climate right now. I mean, we're really in a market share where the distance between, how could I put this in a way that is going to be Facebook and whatever appropriate that we're on. So the gap is widening. Let's put it that way, right? The gap is widening, meaning that agents that are showing up, that are doing the work, they're taking over the industry. So they're literally, showing up and closing and producing at a higher level, and it's sort of leaving the ones that are dabbling in it, not doing very much. It's leaving them behind. The gap is widening, is my point. I had some words I wanted to use, but I thought, no, that wouldn't sound pretty. We're on Facebook, I think.
No, well, I want to make a comment. I think with the emotional intelligence series, I there's the word emotion. Not everyone gravitates to that. They look at it and they're like, oh no, they're like, I don't want that. Or I don't want to talk that we're at a therapy session. In reality, it's not even, I think, I'll take that back. I think it's good therapy because of the simple reason that if you really think of it, if we could be more in tune with how we speak and we communicate with others and just be a little bit more empathetic and just unauthentic and keep ourselves genuine and authentic in what we do, it just works full circle. So the ones that are really thriving in this business are able to do that full circle, where the ones that are still struggling are the ones that are just, their mindset is more of the dollar mindset. I got that dollar, I'm getting that dollar, I'm getting that commission. That mindset doesn't stick all the way through. You have to learn how to communicate with your client. You have to learn how to communicate with your affiliates and everybody else that's working with you. And you have to be genuine in your business to be able to get out there and push yourself out there. And those are the ones that the consumer is gravitating to. They find that to be someone relatable in the business. And and it comes full circle. So the emotional intelligence series has been a great thing for all of us, because I think it's taught us little nuggets here and there that we can take. And the one nugget that I mentioned in my class is that having emotion, having feeling within your business, it's not something to be scared of. It's actually a powerful tool within the business, because it makes you look like a totally different person. So I'm glad that we're doing these series, and I hope we have more of them and more to come on it. And, maybe it should be labeled "Guys Talk More About Your Feelings" class. I don't know. But, it honestly, it does benefit your business full circle.
It teaches you how to, because when you become emotionally intelligent, you learn how to hold yourself appropriately when you're presented with different triggers that you may not like. And so in this business and in life, we're going to be presented with those things. People will tell us things that we may not want to hear, and they may say things to us that we feel are not truth. But how do we react and how do we respond? Are we able to hold ourselves, appropriately, remain centered, remain professional? Because at the end, those things, they matter in our business. They matter very, very much. And I think that we're going to either learn especially in business. And, I can attest to my journey with all of this. We will either learn the hard way or the easy way. So when something presents itself to us, are we going to dig in and take a look at that lesson? And if we don't do it, it will slap us again in the face. And then it will do it again and again. And sometimes it does it so hard that it will slap us down, right? And so those things that we need to pay attention to, they have a huge adverse effect on our business. And for the longest time, even with myself, you guys are a part of this journey, and we've been by each other's side for a very long time now. And I think that we've all learned where there's times that we want to help and have people in our circle or people that we want to prosper and we want to help them. And we almost want it more than they want it for themselves. And so, part of the learning is to continually get slapped, right? Move direction, move direction, move direction. And yet we're so focused on that goal that we lose sight of things. And this, I'm using my own, self as an example, but this also occurs when you're dealing with buyers and sellers, or you're dealing with anybody in your life. Like, this is the time in this type of market, you not only have to know yourself, be able to maneuver what it is that you're doing regarding, your clients. And that has a lot to do with our emotions and our emotional intelligence, meaning how can we receive things and how are we going to respond to things? You have to be able to do that. And we have to get very well versed in our business right now. So as an agent, it's not a matter of just showing up to a property and taking the listing, and sticking the sign there and hoping for the best. There's so much more involved where the client wants to know that the area, that the market share, that something, about taxation possibly for 1031 exchanges, that the schools that are in the area, that what is happening with the actual property. Like, you have to become an expert in what you're doing right now and take the time to refine your skills in both areas, because when you refine both areas, that's when it will lift you to a higher ground. And you'll feel a whole lot more peaceful as well. I mean, and you guys know, I can only attest for things that I've gone through regarding this, but you reach this point of complete peace where you're so peaceful because you're so aligned with people and things that you're doing that you're just like, wow, everything is moving so effectively. And that you can have that feeling in your business if you do the right, internal work and become very aware of other human beings and, not just ourselves. So I know I went off a little bit there, but I just feel like it is so important to be directional right now and take a look at where we're placing our energy, what kind of energy we're giving to whom. Because if you're not directional in this market and you're not refining your skills, you will not succeed in the goal that you're trying to accomplish. It just won't happen.
I'm kind of curious how many agents actually write their goals down.
True. That's another thing. Very true.
I'm really curious to know how they write their goals down. Do they even write their goals down? Is it somewhere where they could see it? Because goal setting is something big. If we don't see it, we won't get to it, and we'll be like, oh, we'll keep pushing it off. So for those agents out there, I think it's important. I did a Liz Minute on this. It's important to do goal setting, like have your goals in place. Know what you want to accomplish even before the end of the year, or start it off for the following year. You can always go ahead of time. Like if you want to go to Europe for 4 months, then in 2020,
let's go.
And make sure you buy me an airline ticket and then I'll go. But I mean, I think goal setting is super important, because how do you know where to navigate? How do you know what direction to take or what to accomplish if you don't have a goal or something in mind? So yeah, goal setting is important. Have a
You know
like.
what a good one is? I love that. You know what a good one is to have you ever
You're taking us to Europe for 4 months? That'd be
I
great.
will let's go. Vámonos. Let's leave. You know what's so funny about that? Like writing down your goals. Have you ever written down like a week long ledger of what you do every day, like how much you actually work, like for the whole day, right? So on day one, because I've done it a few times, especially if I feel like, Jennifer, come on, let's pick it up, let's get going, but like I've done it, and then on day one, you kind of look at it like, interesting. Okay, I'm going to step it up on day two. I have these goals to achieve, right? And on day one, you're like, is that a solid 3 hours of work? And then people wonder, well, why am I not producing results? Well, you only worked a solid 3 hours for the day. The rest of it was walking the dog and taking a dip in the pool and looking at the tree in the backyard, or, talking on the phone. Like it's so eye-opening. So writing things down is super powerful.
I love it when they said that one of their things on the list, because I saw an agent's like their calendar, picking up dry cleaning, going to the grocery store. So they had it all laid out, right? And then I kind of looked at it and I'm like, okay, so how many hours did you really dedicate it to your business? Because all of these are errands. And she's like, but it was my full day. I go, so where is what's going on in your business?
Where's the work? Where's the work?
So time block. You got to time block. Time blocking in your business is important.
And hang out with the right people. Like have the right people in your circle. That is so important, because you know what? A lot of the time we can get motivated by just random, like you want to make sure that the people in your circle are just, like people that are doing great things in life or just in general. I mean, honestly, over the weekend, I took a break for the day and it just did other things, like organized, and just, took a day to like decompress. And I thought, I'm going to just swim. And anyway, all of a sudden I get this message from Sonia, and she's like, I did this and I did that, and I got 20 deals into escrow, and I've got like 4 new listings, and I've got and I thought, oh my gosh, you know what, Jennifer, wake up tomorrow and like you start doing this stuff that you need to do. But it's like little reminders from sometimes, the people that are in our lives, and we need those reminders. So, you become a lot of what you're surrounded by. And it's motivating when you see somebody else doing things. It's like it almost gives you that permission. Like it's motivating, to do that as well. So watch your circle.
Yeah.
Come like them. Become like them, whether you think so or not.
Yeah.
Very true.
You are no, I'm not. I was gonna say you are what you eat.
That too.
Sorry, because I'm hungry. Okay, so
that too. Our bodies are so important. I'm going to be doing a session in a month or so. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And I've been blessed to have some mentors that have recently entered my life, and boy, has it helped me out a lot. So I'll be talking about that in about another 30 days with him. But it all matters. The way that we show up for ourselves and treat ourselves and take care of ourselves, it's going to reflect in our business. So important right now.
Yeah. And, I think you guys brought up a great point about, and this is something I usually do with all new agents, is have them fill out like what their day looks like. And like Liz said, a lot of them are like, well, I do this, I do that. I tell them it's fine. I just want to see, where because most of them come and say, I need more business. I'm not, nothing's happening for me. So that's the first place that we start, is we're going to look at what your habits are every day. Mm-hmm. And I encourage the agents, to come in, because when you're surrounded by, people who are here to work, you hear conversations, you learn so much by just being around and listening. I get it. You're an entrepreneur and you can do, you can do whatever you want with your time and your day. But what I think most need to understand is that that's exactly the important part, is to pick the right things to do with your time in your day. And so, just letting everyone know, it's important to every morning to look at what your day looks like, and make sure you stick to it, and put 5 to 10 things that are non-negotiable, that you're gonna do no matter what. And what I've learned to do is do the things that I don't really care to do first. That way you get it out of your way. Just like, I want to get back into the gym. I've had a lot of things taking place, so it's just been really hard for me to commit myself to that. And so, but I'm ready to get back into it. And it's like, I do that first thing because I know if I don't, I won't. So it's just the same thing, doing the hardest things, or the things that you don't want to do first. That way, the rest of your day, you're doing what you love. And maybe you'll do more of that. So, but we're all here. I know we are. We're all here. We show up to our offices. We try to give as much value as possible. So I don't ever want to hear a Remax champion saying the sky's falling, there's no business, because there is. But
Yeah.
but the three of us can't do the work for you. We can show you, and and give you ideas and stuff like that, but you have to physically go do the work. And if you do the work, you're showing up for yourself, you'll see your results. So I just think it's important to take responsibility for your actions, and know that we're here to guide. We show up every day as an example to show you of how it can be done.
Part of caring for ourselves and our own self-love is doing things that we don't necessarily want to do as well. And I think a lot of the time when people think of self-care, they're thinking about going and getting, a massage or going into the sauna. But self-care and self-love in reality is doing those things that we know is going to progress and better our lives, even if they're challenging and they're hard to do. And that is the thing right there, whether it is knocking on the doors or however it is that you're going to show up for yourself and for your business. I as well, a lot of people, they're talking about the buyers. It's hard to get buyers into escrow and to purchase a property, and they're backing out for whatever reasons. Well, if you know the market share and real estate, then talk to them a little bit about how it works if they're buying a primary residence and living in that property long term. I mean, take a snapshot of a decade worth of real estate appreciation. Don't just take a look at 1 or 2 years. Show them that those numbers and how real estate appreciation works. And where like we're all saying now, oh my goodness sakes, I wish I would have purchased 20 years ago a property for 150,000, over here in Ontario. Well, we're going to be saying that 20 years from now. Oh my goodness sakes, I wish I would have purchased that $500,000 property over here in Ontario or wherever, because that is the power of appreciation. And that's the thing that a lot of buyers, they don't understand. They're waiting. However, if you educate them, and you're also educating yourself on, that the power of appreciation in real estate, and then they're a little bit more inclined to say, oh, I get it. This is long term. And not only that, they're settling into, I think, the interest rate. More people are realizing that these are not bad rates. What we saw was just extremely good. And I think, to reset the economy in a sense. So this is normal. And I think more people are understanding that this, over the course of time and history, we're in, a pretty normal market share as far as buyers' rates are concerned. So all of those things, and like Sonia said, we're here for you. And we want to provide as many tools as we possibly can for you. We're very open to receive any suggestions on what it is that we can all bring in as an organization to help you. But at the end of the day, we cannot do the work for you. And working works. So anytime that you want to achieve a goal, working works. There is no substitute. And only you know if you're showing up the best that you possibly can for yourself. Nobody else knows other than you. And I do think that, like Elizabeth said, writing down goals is very, very powerful. When you look at those every day, it reminds you of where you want to be and what you want to do. And without that, you don't have a guide. If you don't know where you want to be and what you want to accomplish, you're not going to know how to get there. And be specific. Don't just say, I want to sell a whole lot of real estate. No, the universe will not reward you in that way. Trust me, be specific and see your goal at the end, like visualize it and see it in your mind and write it down and be very specific about it. And when you put all of these things that we talked about into place, miraculous things start to happen in your life and your business starts to move forward and you start attracting, a whole lot of different type of clientele that are going to, you're going to be able to close deals and you're going to feel very, very, very good in your business. It's going to progress.
I want to add something. So I just finished I did this class for like 90 days and it was script and role playing, but it wasn't just that. We touched on business planning. We did a little bit of Remax momentum in there. We did NLP. We did listing presentation. I covered a variety of things. But one of the important things that I started off the class in the beginning was writing down your schedule for the week. And it's funny because it was like, what, a schedule? Well, we're self-employed. I go, okay, so think about it as owning a liquor store or supermarket. When do they start their business? Well, they normally are open 7 days a week, but normally when do they need to think about inventory? They need to think about putting like stuff back into the counters to make sure they don't run out of things. But they start thinking about that before like a major, like the first day of the week, which normally lands on a Monday. Okay, so in our business, when does our business start? Does it start on the weekend or does it start on a Monday? So I had to have them reflect on that. And then they figured it out. And I said, okay, color code your planner and, put a different color. So then all of a sudden they started actually thinking about it. And I even gave them this to laugh about because it's something that's been said to me that I'm very routine like. And I didn't understand that routine, like, because I have a method of doing things. I know what days I'm going to do something. Basically, if someone wanted to hit me or kill me, they'll know because they know my schedule. But what I'm trying to get at is if you time block and on Mondays, you're going to be doing this for 3 hours, no distractions whatsoever. And you put that focus in your business. Like I said from the beginning, I keep saying this, it's going to come full circle. So if you have a routine and you have a schedule, it becomes something normal every week, then becomes a habit. And then that habit will create so much opportunity that it ends up becoming like normal for you to understand that Mondays I'm dedicated to this, Tuesdays I'm dedicated to this, Wednesdays is going to be admin. So if everybody that's listening out there can just take the time to actually start setting up your work week, even on the weekend, even on a Sunday morning, so that you're prepared for Monday. You take the reins of your business, and that's being a business owner in some way, shape, or form. Your business will improve. You'll see a difference in it, but it's just taking that time, and it's possible. And hey, all three of us are here, and if you don't know how to time block or know what we mean by certain time frames, we can help you. Like in the mornings, do something specific. Tuesdays, do something or whatever. But I think that's what I'm trying to get at. If we have something scheduled out or planned out, it's inevitable we'll be able to complete it. And errands such as going grocery shopping, getting gas, picking up the dog from PetSmart, those things can be in the afternoon, but focus the beginning of the day is the most important. Like they say that breakfast is the most important meal. The way you start your day is going to basically like show what it is going to be for the rest of the day, for the rest of the week, for the rest of the year, for the next upcoming months.
We have 3 minutes to finish out this broker power hour. And I think that more than anything, you guys, right now, we all have to get very smart and just show up. It is one of those markets where you're not going to be able to cut corners. And like I said before, we just have to show up and we have to do the work. And I think all of us that have achieved any type of financial success, I mean, we have stories where we just showed up for years. It doesn't just take, 1 year. You have to show up for years over and over and consistently. And so just do the work. I mean, there is no replacement for doing the work. I know that Elizabeth, you have Momentum Monday that's going to be starting as well. You're going to dive into momentum. And I think that that's going to be a wonderful class for people to attend. And so maybe you can start putting a little bit out there on what it is that you're going to be doing for momentum. It's a great series for agents to engage in. And then I know, Sonia, you have been doing Forums Friday and going over all of the real estate forums. This is another one where I feel everybody should be attending. There are so many different forums out there. And when you learn how to navigate and to present clean offers and the wording in the forums, what they mean, I mean, it will change the game because you need to appear and you need to be very versed in the way that you're showing up and presenting your offers. So those two things as well. I didn't mention those at the beginning, but Forums Friday and then Mondays for Momentum. I know that that is coming up. And more than anything, right now, just show up for yourselves and do the work. We have an array of things that are here. Stay in motion. It's really important right now. Cool. Are you cutting me off, Justin? Am I being cut off of
Where did that come from?
I don't know, but it's like a warning. I feel like I'm in a spaceship. Okay, everybody.
Hold on. I thought that was Alia's phone that always rings at the peak of the hour. Sorry, Alia.
Warning us. I just want to thank you, beautiful ladies. Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you, Sonia. We have become the power of 3, and it is a mighty force. I appreciate each of you guys and all of your talents. And thank you, champions, for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.